weekend has been like a revival of inspiration, architecturally wise. As students, we're confined to a studio learning environment, so being here was really beneficial because we got to be inspired by practicing architects that are successful in the business.
I think the main issue is the power of design, which obviously brings different layers to general thinking. The everyday kind of use of the city and how we move and interact with the city is where the potential of design can translate. And our debate this morning is about the idea of access to the city, and traditionally that is thought of as the domain of planners or traffic engineers, etc. But we hope to demonstrate that design can make those issues around the engineering of getting people from one point to another a lot more meaningful and also contributes to the experience of the city.
Well, this summer in London, because of the Olympics and all the kind of events, there was a massive kind of huge effort to kind of make public spaces accessible to both tourists and locals. So there was a whole kind of design element that was done to like South Bank and Trafalgar Square, all the kind of public spaces that kind of made everybody relate and have that kind of creativity. And I guess creativity and design can be linked completely with public spaces. And we've seen this in London this year, and the Olympics kind of brought all these different designers and these different artists and kind of created public spaces that people could and love to interact with. Intrinsically, it's something that people, whether they know it intuitively or not, are always drawn to kind of creativity and design.
I think one of the most important things to recognise is that cities have to accommodate a heterogeneous group of users, and one of the challenges of the apartheid city was that it was premised on exclusion. So I think that an inclusive city is a city that is able to accommodate all the users of the city, not just tourists and not just the rich, but just ordinary everyday users, and make their use of the city more enjoyable, more inclusive.
It was a really informative Congress. I was really inspired by Rahul Malhotra. He was actually one of the most inspiring architects that took one of the lectures. And all in all, my experience in Cape Town was extremely fabulous. The city is amazing, and I'll definitely be coming here again.
I think the critical question for us as a profession is how do we engage with society again? And I think we have to find ways of giving greater agency, social agency to architecture without compromising its autonomy as a discipline, but also its intrinsic contribution to society, which is about imagining and reimagining spatial configurations within a city, within space. I think once you begin to use the social as material for architecture, as much as you use material as material for architecture, I think you begin to open up many new dimensions. I think architecture can play a massive role in two ways. One is it can imagine new possibilities within urban areas, of how we can make the city more elastic in a sense to accommodate more people in an inclusive way, but also how we can soften thresholds between many disparate groups and constituencies in the city. And design is, I think, a very critical instrument in softening those thresholds, where proximities between the rich and the poor, proximities between different social classes can be imagined in spatial terms.